Okay, so let's talk about volume of pyramids and cones. So based on this picture below, make a conjecture about the volume of a cone. So take a look at this for a second, talk it out, and I want you guys to come up with the formula for a volume of a cone. Okay, so does everybody see that if you have a cone, and this cone right here is the height of this cylinder. Let's say it has sand in it. And you packed it with sand, and then you threw it inside of the cylinder, and then you picked it up. The sand would fill up a third of the cylinder.
Hey, it doesn't matter what's in there.
So the volume, this is just so you remember the formula. If I just tell you the formula, then it doesn't mean anything to you, right? But if I explain it like that, then you'll remember it because you've got a visual. Correct? So volume equals a third of whatever the base is times the big height. I'm going to use the big H. So what do you think the volume of a pyramid would be?
V is equal to base times height.
1/3 of the base times the height. Okay, let's move on. All right. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Teofilo, he has a clock that is in the shape of a square pyramid. The clock has a base of 3 inches and a height of 7 inches. Find the volume of the clock. Volume equals 1/3 of the base times the height. The base is a 3x3 base, correct? And the height is 7. What is 1/3 of 3? 1. Those cancel, right? So isn't it just 21 inches cubed? No. In order to find the area of this base, I multiply base times height. Right? So this is a 3x3 square, so 3 times 3 is 9. Right? I'm not doing the perimeter of the base. Right? You could, if you were talking about, wouldn't work with a pyramid though. Yeah. Wouldn't work with a pyramid. Okay, moving on. Find the volume of the cone to the nearest tenth. Volume equals 1/3 the base times the height. This cone has a base of what? A circle, right? Times however high the circle is. So 1/3 of pi times the radius squared times the height, which is 12. What's 1/3 of 12? 4. And what's, and 5 squared is 25. What's 4 times 25? We don't even need a calculator for this one. Pi is 3.14. You multiply that by 100, you get 314.15. Round to the nearest tenth is 0.2 inches cubed. Let you write that down for a second. Okay, so let's look at this one. So just like if we had, remember the slant of the cylinder with the quarters, remember that? So if you know a cylinder has a certain volume, if you slant it, made it oblique, it still has the same volume, correct? So the same thing happens with a cone. So it's the same formula. 1/3 of the base times the height. So 1/3 of, what's my base? Pi times what? 8.6 squared times my height, which is 12. So that's going to be 6 pi times whatever this is, which if I put that in a calculator, I already have it figured out. It's 929.4 inches cubed. 4 pi. Sorry. 4 pi. 1/3 of 12 is 4. Questions on that one? I really just want to get through the lesson because this is one of those where you just need to do your homework. Because do you think they're going to be this easy on your homework? No. Okay, we're done. So actually, finding the volume of figures like that, that's a 7th grade standard. So what do you think these problems are going to involve? No. It's going to deal, you're going to be dealing with pentagons, right? Finding a possum. Okay.